pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First up, Keith.
Well, my name is Bea Murphy. I am volunteer director at Jennings County Coordinating Council, as you all know. But the reason I'm here today is to ask for some money for next year. I do appreciate the $5,000 that you guys have given me for this year. We've already gone through that. Just over Memorial Day weekend, I happened to go in. I go in and check the freezers and the coolers every day, regardless if I'm off or not. And the freezer had quit running throughout the night. It's about 28 to 30 years old. The compressor went out of it. And of course, the compressor has been upgraded, and so the schematics are different and all of this. Anyway, long story short, the fellow who did the work on it for us did not charge us any labor at all, and it cost $2,900. That with the price of food, and I am having fundraisers. I'm speaking to churches. I'm doing everything I can do on my own to try to get, more food in there because, we're giving out so many meals a month. It's unreal. It's just unreal. And they can only come once a month. And, there are guidelines, and I do make sure that they are Jennings County residents. But, it's just getting tough for people out there. It used to be, they were the same old people month after month, you know what I'm saying? It's not like that anymore. The people that it really hurts the most, probably half of the people that I serve are elderly. They can't make it on $570 a month. They've got to have help. And they come to me for food. That way they can still pay their rent and buy their medicines and eat. And I'm talking men and women. It really doesn't matter. The men are as in bad shape as the women are, and like I said, about half of my people are elderly or, above 65 years old. I have several that's in their 90s. Can you believe that? And, it's hard for them anymore to be able to afford gas to come in and get it. Things are just getting worse. That's what I'm trying to say. And if there was any way you could give me more money next year, as you know, I want to retire, and they will probably have to end up paying somebody because, there's just not people out there that really want to work, never alone do it for free. But as long as we have to keep spending so much for food, I used to be able to buy food cheaper. I used to be able to get like eggs. Jennings is wonderful about giving me eggs, but there's the bird flu going around. They can't give out eggs right now. So, that hurts. Milk went, you used to be able to buy milk for 99 cents to $1.29. Now, $3.79. Everything's just gone so sky high. I don't know how long we can continue to make repairs like we did. And thank goodness for Donnie Brewer. I want to say that. He offered his reefer truck and was going to pay for the gas and everything to take everything out of my freezer and put in one of his trucks. So we didn't lose anything. So, I commend the people of Jennings County for trying to help me. We didn't have to end up doing that, but it was down for 4 days. But, like I said, the guy that worked on it, was able to keep me up long enough to keep everything frozen and we didn't lose anything. So just good people out there, good people. So if you can see to it, I'd appreciate it. I know everybody's asking for money. I know times are tough. I know that.
I would recommend that we, I know this might sound a bit off the wall for me, but I would recommend that we increase that to $20,000. Because 5 has not been enough, and we've known that it hasn't been enough for the last several years. And with the repairs and foreseeable future, maybe having to even pay somebody to do the position and what the food is costing, and the need is increasing. I was gonna say, you know, it ought to be at least double, but it's nothing for what she's going through. I mean, I know what she's dealing with.
Well, you've been lucky to skimp by the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, just the other night, we had I made up this thing. It was called Shop and Share. Okay, and we stood out Walmart. We got the 4-H Queen candidates and the trustees went out in front of Walmart, and we handed people a piece of paper. And on that paper, it had a lot of like peanut butter, all the items that we use every day. And we asked them if they would mind just buying one item. I mean, one item could have been a can of tuna. And asked them to buy one item. And after they checked out, to come give it to us, you know, as a donation. And they did. I mean, I got 2 trailers. It's either a 20 or 20-foot trailer, 20 or 22-foot trailer full of food. But you know what? That was wonderful. But that's not gonna last very long, you know, and it's hard to get, I can't do it all by myself, and it's hard to get other volunteers to get out and help you after, you know, their lives are busy. Everybody's lives are busy.
Yeah.
How are you setting like on, could you use some ground pork or something like that?
Oh, I can use everything.
Let
Yeah,
me see what I can do. Let me make some phone calls.
okay. Yeah, I can use all of that.
Do I have a motion to increase what we give B to 20,000?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Unanimous.
Thank you very, 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 very much from the bottom of my heart. You know, I'm not making any money, so I'm doing this just, you know, because it is my heart.
Well,
Well, we didn't let you retire last year, B.
Would you go one more?
I think you've heard that a few times, didn't you?
Actually, your husband called me this morning and said, make sure she stays at least one more.
Thank you, guys.
Well, I think since we quadrupled what we gave you, I think that means 4 more.
Oh, gosh. The price of gas, that didn't go in my pocket.
Thank you, B.
Yeah, thank you. Matter of fact, I tried my side by side this morning.
I saw that.
Thank you.
See you.
We're next, but on our website, we have a charitable foundation. On there for exactly what you're talking about. So on the website, you can fill out an application. Between 3,000 and 5,000 donate, so charity. So we gotta go on there and check that out.
I will, thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
Next up, Gordon, is it Fleck?
Gordon Fletcher.
There you go. Great.
All right, so we got a little bit of a change. It says Ethan, I'm not Ethan, I'm Justin. You'll see that in the slide deck. So he's ill, and rather than him coming down and sneezing and coughing all over the place, we thought it'd be better that I do it and try not to sneeze and cough all over the place. But a fantastic slide deck was prepared to talk a little bit about our company, let you know who we are since we took over from Jim Board. If anybody wants to copy over here. But we'll just do a paper copy here for today. So, and I know we've got 15 minutes, so I'll go quick, but really ask questions, talk through it. And we're gonna start with just, probably the third or fourth page there, just some, agenda. We're gonna go through a quick introduction. We're gonna talk about the recommendation. This is for your copiers and, right now, just the copiers, at the Jennings County. And then we're gonna talk about the approach that we take and just go through next steps. So that's kind of the agenda for today. So you guys can see on the next page there, again, I'm not Ethan, I'm Justin. I'm the Regional Director of Sales and Operations for the Gordon Flesh Company. I've been with Gordon Flesh for about 15 years. I was the first sales rep hired in Indiana. Now promoted to run in the state for the company. Ethan's our sales manager. He was down last week with Walker doing a survey, talking to all the different departments about their copiers and their printers and really just the age of them and some other things that we'll get to in a few minutes. So that's us. Just a real quick on Gordon Flesh, next page. Gordon Flesh purchased Jim Gordon. You guys may know Jim Gordon. They've been a staple in this area for a long, long time. And the independent copier dealer world is kind of small. And Jim Gordon reached out, the company reached out and said, guys, into 2020, we're really struggling. We have to lay all our people off. Would you be interested in acquiring our business? Their business model and the Gordon Flesh business model is very similar. And so they take great care of their customers. We think that we do a pretty good job taking care of our customers too. We'll talk about that in a little bit, in a slide or two later. So that was a good match. The good news is that we kept everybody on staff. So everyone that wanted to stay on board from Jim Gordon stayed with us. If you've had a service technician out lately, it's not a new face. It's that same person that you're used to seeing for years and years on the devices that you guys have. So another piece to the Gordon Flesh Company is on the slide with the states on it. On that slide, it just shows all of our brick and mortar locations. The only reason for this slide is to let you know that everywhere that we have a yellow dot, we also have governments, local governments that we work with in every single county that we manage. So, or every single state that we take care of. So that's just a piece to that. The next slide, I talked about just the way Gordon Flesh takes care of their customers and employees like Jim Gordon did. It goes through the tenure. So overall, on average, 11 years of tenure. Service technicians are 17.7. Where that helps you guys is they know what they're doing. They've been doing it for a long time. When they come out and fix a device, they get it fixed right the first time, hopefully every time. And then on the sales side, 7.7 years is the average. And as I mentioned, I've been with Gordon Flesh for 15. We have 113 employees with over 25 years of experience. Why do I care? Why do you guys care about this slide? What does it mean to you? It means they take really good care of our customers, and it makes our lives and jobs very easy to do because our customers are happy. So for us and the people in admin and everyone that works for Gordon Flesh, by treating our customers well, it helps our jobs become much easier. So we're here for you. So any questions on any of that? I know I'm going to fly through it. Like I said, I know we've got short time, but I just wanted to make sure we can get to everything we need to cover. No? Okay. So next we'll talk a little bit about the recommendation slides. As I mentioned, Ethan and Walker were in last week to do a walkthrough. They met with every department, for the most part, every department. They talked with the key users. They looked at things like, are we overutilizing or underutilizing devices? What are the age of those devices? Can we still service them for how long? Will we get parts and different things along like that? We talked about the finishing, stapling. Do they have it? Do they even know they have it? Do they use it? So we looked through all the different things that have to do with the machines themselves. And then we were able to right size the fleet. So again, optimizing machines, uniform service rates. So that's the other piece. You guys are all over the board based on age of device as far as the service rates and serviceability of the devices. So that's something we looked at as well. And then obviously with the world we live in today, security, data breaches, those kinds of things are a concern for us as well. So the devices that we'll get into that when we get to the proposal piece. The devices all have built-in antivirus, and a lot of things that weren't available at the time that these machines were purchased to help keep your network and your information safe. In today's world, hackers are using copier devices to get into the network and onto the network. And once they get there, that's where the trouble begins. Okay, so that's the other last piece to that page. So the next page, or the spiral bound notebook that Walker handed out, just goes through our information on devices. It talks a little bit about the current device, when it was installed, the machine itself, the average volume, the cost per page. So it really breaks down everything. Both packets that you have do the same thing. For me, it's this one. I like this one a little bit better because it summarizes everything. But the spiral bound packet goes through, the spiral bound packet goes through the devices themselves, and talks about what their capabilities are, their features, their functionality, and things along that nature. So if you've got questions, note just one thing to note on this is that the devices themselves are not as pictured. Okay, so we configure devices as the users either have it today or told us they would need it in the future. Questions on that? Do we want to go machine by machine, by location? What are your, I know we're again up against some time constraints here, but I want to make sure you guys have the information, but I don't want to bore you with it if you don't need it.
The one question I had was on like recommendation, on the recommendation, not the spiral, but the other one.
Yeah.
Like Superior Court, it looks like every other one that install date is listed, but then like on Circuit Courtroom, it says 41955.
Average machine.
So I mean, obviously by looking
That's not a
at it,
1955 machine. I can
no,
probably guess that.
it looks like it put the install date on every other one.
So this is just a one-up version for you. Correct install dates
Okay.
within.
So they're basically all 13s or 14s with the exception of the prosecutors, which is a 15.
That's how I'm seeing it.
Okay.
So yeah, so the ones not shown on the, so that's the other piece I wanted to talk about, is if we had time, is we also have, you guys also have devices from Office Shop out of Batesville as well. And so the other, and then unmanaged, unsupported printers, desktop printers as well. And so the last page on this kind of talks to that, is that Gordon Flesh's ability to manage fleets, whether they're single function, multi-function, scanners, wide format, whatever they might be, we can manage this. It can be one-stop shop. So there's probably a good chance that your devices from Office Shop.
It's from Jim Gordon, because we have a current contract.
It is, okay, so we'll need to double check that. You have your sheet. Okay, so we'll double check that and get, so you can get that figured out as well for you.
We do have one from the other shop, that we have one that is through Jim.
Okay, and so, and then just out of curiosity, why the two and the one department, out of curiosity? Two devices, not sure. So that's the kind of fleet management that I'm talking about too, which could over time help save a little bit for you as well. So that gives you the dates, gives you the thing. My biggest concern is just going to be parts availability. So with Sharp devices, what they do is when we call to order parts or to get part restocked, they say those parts are no longer available. So that's the notice that we get that your machine, we can't fix your machine anymore. Typically, about that 7 to 10 year mark is when we start seeing the part availability on devices. So that's a concern for us too. We don't want you calling us to get service and us saying we can't get the part, having to cancel a service contract, or mad at us because we didn't, do our job and fix your machine. But at the same time, unfortunately, that's what we get with the Sharp. So that's a bit of a concern, is the age of devices and part availability. Where I'm not saying start to panic, I'm saying that's something that is definitely concern at the age of the devices that you have.
So are the Canons better about longer Will they
Yeah, so
service
Canon's
longer?
are 10 years minimum on unique parts. So unique part is, last year's Ford F-150 and this year's Ford F-150 have very few unique parts. That was on last year's, but not this year's, right? So the unique parts with Canon, and the other piece to the Canon is they give us at least 6 months notice that that's going to happen. Hey, by the way, on this 12-year-old device, you're no longer going to be able to get the fixing assembly or whatever it might be. So the notification is definitely for superior when it comes to that. It's the McAfee antivirus that I talked about earlier on the security side. There's a lot of advantages to, frankly, Jim Gordon and Canon both started to move away from the Sharp product line at exactly the same time because a lot of the concerns that we have with serviceability and parts. We're still a certified dealer and reseller, so we're getting certified, OEM parts for the Sharps, but it's definitely a product line that we've moved away from.
Can I interrupt
You bet you can.
Actually, something came up that was what I was thinking about.
Okay.
Basically, then this is kind of an incomplete listing because obviously now we just found that there's one machine that we know of for sure that wasn't covered. So it's been my goal, kind of like bundling insurance.
Sure.
I'm like the go-to guy. Like if we have problems with something, I want to say, here's where we go. And
Yep.
it seems like we have a hodgepodge.
Yep.
And we've always had a hodgepodge, and the reason being is because there were personal conflicts with a previous office holder who didn't like a certain company.
Sure.
So they took their budget and went out on their own. And I think that if we're gonna do something like this, this is the time to clean it up right now.
Okay.
And so it looks to me like you guys are on your way, you started, but I don't think we've got the whole picture.
Okay.
So what I would suggest is we, be sure that we've got all of them. Is that, unless you can tell me you think that's the only one we missed?
So,
Did we visit every department, every office head and look at every machine throughout the whole county?
so me and Nikki and Ethan walked through last Tuesday, and just went through each department. And I'm not sure if we just happened to,
We did not go to the sheriff's department, anyone in that building, highway. We just took their list, and the airplane was my fault. I knew she had just replaced that other copier in the main office not too long ago through the office shop, and I forgot she has one in her office, that oversight was my fault. We visited everybody in these two buildings.
just to,
Does the ones with the office shop, are they on a contract like these? They're about the same thing.
Most of-
Time and material on that one?
Yeah, most,
So that's,
just because of the expense of the copier or the cartridges, I would say 90% of everybody pays for their copies, so whenever it needs fixed, then that includes in the contract, so you just pay for your copies on, and that's what we do
Yeah.
with theirs as well as the office shop, so.
so what that is let's say it's a penny a page black and white. That penny a page includes your toner and also any service that's needed done, all parts, travel time, loaner equipment if needed, everything is included in that penny a page. And so it covers the machine's service as well as the usage on the device itself. But to your point, we so happen to bring a sign-up sheet because our hope was that would be the conversation. There is work to be done. There's work to be done when it comes to the single function on everybody's desk printer. We need to look at those and compare volume and see if there's a way that we can save the county money by putting those on a maintenance contract and providing the toner for those desktop printers as well. We need to look at the office shop copiers and take a look at those volumes and see if we combine those two machines, just two of them in our office, one from us, one from them. If we can combine those two devices, the cost savings there would also be there as well. So there is more work to be done, and to do it, we put together what we thought was a complete list coming in. We prepared for that, for your conversation as well, by bringing a sign-up sheet as people were here today, and the important people in the room can put down a time that works for them, for us to come in, look at the department, run information on their printers and their office shop machine as well, and give you really a good look at everything rather than just half the fleet.
Yeah, I'm like you, man. I'd like to see a total package. If we're
Yeah,
gonna
so
do something.
you need to go, you need to visit the sheriff's department and EMS.
County department, at the highway.
I'd say you need to put a. plan
Nikki,
together.
can you just make a round with them?
So like, they've made around my office, but they didn't look at my office shop.
So you got one too?
So it would have to go back, then I.
Yeah, and that, we knew we would.
Yeah.
We knew we would.
Just to kind of like a quick note on kind of where we got the list from and how we got to that point. All the machines that we have listed on that proposal are the Sharp machines that you currently have from Jim Gordon that are just getting that older in age. That's where that comes from now, and just replacing the current Sharps that are just getting a little bit older. But we wanted to go forward and do even a deeper dive and research to get a full plan for you guys.
Without your buy-in to doing it, we'd come here and say, here's what we think we should do for the whole county, and you'd say, wait a minute. Well, we're talking about our these, you know, so we were gonna give you what was asked for today. Granted, we did miss one, but give you what you asked for today. And then the part of the PowerPoint that's not here, because I didn't print that section of it in preparation for today. When if I was doing it up here, I'd be jumping to different slides to talk about just what we're talking about here. And so that's exactly what we want to do. Like I said, we have a sign-up sheet. We're happy to work with the departments. We're happy to go walk through everywhere again. That's part of what we do every day. So,
And then one question, another question I had, I'm sorry, I'm being.
no, this is perfect. You're not at all.
Shane's idea to switch the meetings to mornings, so that's when my brain's at its sharpest, so I'm coming in the fall time. So you can blame Shane.
Better go back to
I'm not big on just coming in and willy-nilly replacing a bunch of machines. I'm one of these guys that ain't gonna fix it.
Yep.
So I was wondering if you put a plan together and say, look, this is what we're talking about. Is there a way that we can come up with a contract, but maybe not replace a machine that is perfectly functional at the time? Just go ahead and have it that once that machine breaks down, we're no longer even gonna try to fix it and change it out at that time.
Sure.
Is that a problem? I mean, do other people do that? Or I just hate to throw away a good machine just because it's 7, 8, 9 years old, it's still working.
Yeah.
Can I do real quick?
Yeah.
So where this kind of inspired from the get-go too, Tracy in Superior Court sent in a service call. Probably it's been 2 months ago. We had some delay getting that fixed. So I talked to her and she was like, maybe we just need to kind of look at getting a new one. So then when I talked to her further in detail, she was like, well, let me get you with Nikki and kind of walk around. Maybe other departments need to do the same. I just had one come through for probation, had a service call this week as well. So that's just kind of my point, or my talk track of where we kind of got to this point, is getting those service calls. They're just coming through a little bit more frequently.
Yeah, and then the rip and replace everything was just far from that conversation. We can do that, absolutely. We can do it to where we look at a budget time frame where we say, okay, these 5, and I'll get back to the sheet here. These 4 are from 14, let's budget for those for, you know, next year, and then the other from 15, let's budget for those for the following year. And then know if something comes up and it becomes unfixable, that we can, you know, be a little agile and move right on the spot and get something in place. That's definitely something that we can do. I'm not a fan of throwing things in a landfill either. Like if the machine or the printer, we're not just gonna say, you need all new printers. If it's one that we can't service or get parts for or toner for, then we'd say, hey, this one, it's 20 years old, we should replace it, which happens with HPs. I mean, that's a normal thing. So your thought is perfect. The only difficulty is just making sure that we're gonna be agile enough to, when someone says my machine's down, I can't get it. Normally, I'd say 7 to 10 business days, we'll have a new one in place. Before, in the meantime, I'll bring you one to use until it gets there. Since we're not gonna fix yours, today we're looking at 6 to 8 to 10 weeks for delivery on some things, just because of the supply chain issues. I'm sure you guys are running into that too. So
No.
That was
no,
good.
nobody, it's just us.
So far, I've heard of something.
Right? So again, not scary thing is just the reality of the world that we live in, and you're well aware of it, so. But this, what starts all that is a really in-depth, thorough walkthrough and look at every device, not just the Jim Gordon devices, but everything you've got, and then we're able to come in and say, here's how much you're spending, here's how much it would be with us, whether it's cost savings, with some new devices or all new or whatever it might be, but I agree, we can look at something along those lines.
I just think we need some options.
Well, the other option that I was thinking about was what happens if we went ahead and approved the purchase of 2 brand new machines that would pretty much serve like everyone, and had them here. I mean, had them on, you know, in the works of getting them here anywhere, and had them here on standby. And then we could rotate them out as the need comes, as one breaks down, move the one new one in, and then go ahead and order another new one. Because I mean, obviously with the supply chain issues, I don't want anybody to have to even try to function for several days or weeks without something. I know you say you can get a one, but what happens if we have 3 or 4 done at the same time? Do you have that many machines that you can loan us?
Yep.
That worries me whenever I see that.
We do, so our used inventory, so we use used devices for that, obviously, something that was serviced from Gordon Flesh the entire life of it being out in the field. That number, so we have offices in Ohio, as you saw all the yellow dots on there. Every time anybody comes from another branch, I have to bring more. So we're always trying to keep more in stock. We send out about 3 of them a day. And obviously, to your point, at some point that well is gonna run dry. I have seen it to a suggestion or add to that point, which is a good one, would be take our 2 that are our most vulnerable devices. Maybe they have the most copies on them or they're the oldest. Move those into a holding area, if you will, and those are the backups. And then those 2 departments get the new devices right away. Now we have those 2 older ones we can put in place if we need to. And then as you're talking about, as one goes down, we put the old one in, we order a new one, and then we can get rid of that when the new one comes in.
It looks like the majority of what you have on here so far is what you're talking about replacing is the 4735i.
Yep.
So what would be, I mean, just don't get into a bunch of details, but like what would be the difference in that? And like, then you have the 527is.
Yeah.
You have it on here twice.
Yeah.
So with the 4735, is it like a more advanced model?
Go ahead, you want me again?
Well, I was just gonna say, the biggest thing between those 2 would be, paper size. So one's considered an A3 versus A4, and I don't know, you can probably.
So the 4735 does this size paper. The 527 only does legal.
Okay.
So they found in their walkthrough that department didn't use 11 by 17 paper. So so in an effort to save some money, they went to the one that doesn't have that capability.
And that's really the biggest difference between them is.
The scanner is a little different. I mean, there's minimal things that are different, but that's the biggest difference.
So how long do you think if we send you back to the drawing board to visit all the other departments and come back here with another revised plan, how long do you think that's gonna take?
Do you meet once a month? Twice a month? I would
have Scott.
it will be, if we don't have good records of volumes, which typically most places don't on their single function desktop printers, a month is a good time frame because we can come in, get a beginning meter read. We can come back in 15 to 30 days, get another meter read, and then say, okay, on an average month, this desktop printer does 2,000 prints. That's going to help us determine, the cost for the toner inclusive maintenance agreement. It's going to help us determine if the device needs done. I would say to do it right is probably either we could get it done 20 days, but really a month is about the right time frame.
Yeah, Megan's on Zoom, and he made some comments. I don't know if you want.
Wow, someone likes one of my ideas. Can we like?
Screenshot it.
Someone likes one of mine.
It's because you're in the morning.
I guess.
So there, yeah, that's a couple different ways to do it. One, we can start with getting a couple on order. The other way would be to give us a month to really do it right and get a solution in front of you that's comprehensive and covers everything that we'd be talking about.
If you're gonna do it, you might as well do it right.
That's what I think too.
Well, say do it right, but since we've also got a six-month window, we have possibly of order equipment, do we want to go ahead because we've got several of those older machines? Do we want to go ahead and order one of the 4735s and maybe one of the 527s and have them come in and possibly be here on standby? I mean, is that necessary or?
But do you have enough used printers to get us by if something happens in the short term? I guess that'd be the big.
That was where that head shake came in.
Right. I'll give them more information than I should. Right now, those 527s, we have about 400 of them on order company-wide. We've got some that are 6 to 8 months that have been on order that are now like second, third, fourth in line, right? So in our branch alone. I have 20, 42, 35s in our inventory at our Madison, Wisconsin warehouse, or the 47 35s in our Madison warehouse. So the other thing is we get a notice that says you won't have those 527s until December. And then the next day we get a semi truckload full of with 150 on it. So it goes from, we'll never get them basically, December, seems like never, right? To, oh, by the way, here's 100 tomorrow. So even our manufacturers are struggling with giving us realistic expectations on when we're going to get the devices. So it can go either, like I said, I could have those 47 series devices here next week. But that 52 or 527 series could be a long time. And I know that's more information you need, and I know over time, but that's just the volatility of what we're dealing with on our end. We're lucky because it's not affecting parts. We're lucky because it's not affecting toner. Knock on wood, but it is affecting the inventory. So that's going to be a you decision. I mean, we can wait. We can put 2 in. We can do 1 of each. We can, have some loaners. We would do everything that we can to get devices in here if we were down. So don't feel like you're going to be left high and dry. We would do anything we have to do.
Well, I guess as long as you're sure that you're gonna do everything you can to keep us up and running, I'd say just go ahead and do the complete study and we'll just wing it from now till then.
Okay, so we'll put a sign-up sheet out for you guys, and then each department can let us know, and then maybe get in touch with the people that are just joining us on the Zoom call. And we'll, get some times figured out when we can get down here with our business analysts, do a complete walkthrough. We'll need to be in touch with the IT group. You have an IT group, I assume, yeah, okay. So the IT group, so we can, if possible, we have a data collection tool that will pull meter reads for us, which would make life a lot easier for everyone there too. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds like we got a plan.
Okay.
He just said that his office is unlocked for candidates. That's our IT.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Just be sure we don't forget any departments, Nikki. Do all of them. That's not a smart aleck comment. I mean, it's like, just be sure we get all of them so we know where we're at. Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for your time. Appreciate it, guys.
Okay, next up, Marie.
Yeah, a copy of the ordinance.
Probably so.
Yeah.
So I spoke with Charlie Weber regarding, we are starting to collect for fines now. Typically, I could put that in our unsafe building fund, but that fund is designated and can only be spent for what is specified under unsafe building. I could put it in my general fund under legal or something like that, but then it goes back at the end of the year. I don't suspect that this fund will be very much, but I mean, hoping it'll grow. The reason why I wanted to start this fund is, for example, when we took the ice cream shop to court, That was more of a zoning violation, and so was not able to pay those fines or fees out of the unsafe building fund. So luckily, the city covered that, but what I would like to do is, Alex has drafted this up to create this fund so that in the future, we could use it out of this fund and not have to come back to the council for more money. What I'd like for them to do is, this year in budget is to put so much in this fund and so much in the unsafe building fund, so we can kind of build this fund as we have the unsafe building fund, mainly for attorney fees.
I guess you're good with it, Alex, if you drafted it.
Is it legal?
People comments?
I think that's what Marie wants it to do. I don't represent your claim commission, somebody else does, so I would benefit from
Okay, any discussion, or do I have a motion to approve?
I'm gonna make a
Well, and let me say one more thing. When Alex said that, sometimes Brad does have a conflict with a case that we have. So I do have to hire another attorney. So I guess that's where I want to clarify. That's where those attorney fees would come out of this fund.
which we've
because-
done multiple times.
Which we have. So anytime there's a conflict of interest, I have to hire a different attorney. So, I mean, Alex has represented in different ones, so that's where it's kind of hard to put it in the general fund. It gets confusing, but anyway, Brad's fees are not included in this. He's in the general fund and that's appropriated, so this would, huh?
Deep this up when I typed it yesterday. We need to add some language on number 5. It say, however, county council may appropriate additional funds as determined by the council. Didn't you want council to appropriate if they needed to?
Yes.
One moment, please.
Yeah, so we would have fines and then if they would split some of it in this fund, yeah.
Sorry, I'm off.
That's okay, I just, if you're not predicting that this is gonna be a huge amount of money, and this is something new that we've never collected in the past. Do we not have enough faith in our area plan director to just be in charge of this account to be spent? Why do we need that statement even in this?
That council can appropriate.
Because I want them to put money in this fund.
Put money in the fund,
Right.
okay,
Starting
So
next
the
year.
fines are gonna go into this fund, but
but
we also, if council needs to supplement.
never mind, forget what I said. I thought we were talking about the council could make decisions about taking money out of the fund.
Be able to deposit into it. And then he has description of what it can be used for.
Pretty much anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Have you collected any yet at all?
Well, I have $50. And then, yeah.
Is that all?
I have 500 that's supposed to be paid anytime, and then what I'm recommending from the council is out of the 40, they usually put in my unsafe building fund, put 10 in this fund and 30 in my unsafe building. So we'll help build this fund up because, I mean, about $250 per case, and those add up pretty quick. So some of those I cannot pay out of the unsafe building fund.
I just wasn't sure if any of them that we put that on and made it to court yet.
Yeah, well, 2 of them, so that would be 550 total out of that, so. Now, when they pay it will be the other question.
Does the court stipulate how long they have to pay it?
Yes,
Typically, is it 30 days, 60 days?
the last order was for 30 days, and they haven't paid it, so we'll go back to court and see what the judge does at that point.
Good.
I'll make a motion to approve the revised version.
Let me read it.
It'd probably be a good idea
So the only change that I made is, number 5. It says main fund need not be appropriated by the county council. However, the county council may appropriate, and this is what I added, is additional monies to the fund as deemed necessary. That work?
Okay, we've got a motion on the floor from Shane to approve it with the changes made. Unanimous.
Oh, yeah. So then just go to county council next to get, what's my next step?
They appropriate the, I mean, they did the fund, we don't have to go to council. I mean, as long
And
as you have it
the
in.
fund is created, so you can put money into that fund.
Okay, so I can get a number for that fund deposit in, and,
We'll have to make it, yeah.
okay, so I don't need to go to them then. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll find that page and then I'll fix that page.
I wanted to tell you too, before you leave, and I forget, I appreciate you giving me your card and her. She works diligently for this county where, appreciate that.
That's it all. For review.
So then I almost skipped you, Alex. Next up is Alex on,
Another ordinance for presentation. You each have a copy in front of you, but the public records law allows the county to establish a policy to prohibit the use of public records for commercial and political purposes. I have taken a policy from other counties. They're fairly standard in other counties. Jennings County does not have one. I find it appropriate to have one. So I have in front of you an ordinance to establish a policy prohibiting the use of public records for commercial and political purposes. Basically, there's an exemption for news outlets, such as newspaper, requested records, obviously. For publication of news, academic research, if some academic institution requested records, they could use them. But if it's found that somebody uses public records in violation of the prohibition, they can be prohibited from for records. Public records request. So, happy to answer any questions.
so at this time, are you recommending one for commercial purposes and political purposes, or are you just recommending commercial?
Commercial and political.
So I think we should do both if we're gonna do it.
Any discussion, or do I have a motion to approve the ordinance as written?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll say. Unanimous. Two sets of minutes.
One's for the joint council.
Do I have a motion to approve both sets of minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve both sets.
Yeah, Bob, that he attended the last
I'll second. Unanimous. Do I have a motion to sign payroll form?
I'll make a motion to sign.
I'll second.
Unanimous.
On the option of getting rid of all this stuff in the basement.
Everything was taken care of as far as everyone paying and getting that deposited, all that stuff. The only issue that we have right now is getting all the things that need to go to the trash off. And so I thought that the highway was working on that with Greg.
Okay, I'll say something, Greg. We just got a couple of departments that's completely out of storage and we need to be getting moving on something.
Yeah, I believe that the highway took out a little bit of stuff, but yeah, I think that
Okay, I'll say something to Greg. I just didn't know where we was at on it.
Oh, the issue of the recycle center charging us for the getting rid of the computer monitor downstairs. I just got an update on my phone the other day from the recycle center that during certain time periods, like at least twice a year, the fee for that is waived. And I think there's one like coming up, so I'm looking into that before, or they already taken.
I think they've already taken them out there,
They're already gone.
but I don't know if they're gone.
One person is saying yes,
Hold on.
and four are shaking their head no.
We're talking about something different, and Nathan is on here, and he can tell you, but he's talking about what is actually in the server room. So,
Nathan be here, but he didn't need.
Yeah, I'm here, guys. The monitors that I called you about, we've already taken out there.
Okay, cool. I thought maybe I would catch it, 'cause like 2 days after you called me.
say that again.
We're too fast.
That's okay, it's not a huge deal, but I just thought if we could catch it. We could hold off maybe a week or two to be free anyway, no big deal.
The main thing we need to get done is just the stuff that needs to go. And then that way Greg can get started on storage for the departments that need it. That's all. We're main thing we need done.
So, there are monitors downstairs and, you guys had talked about this whenever we did the auction, and that there was monitors and copiers and things like that that did not work. And I don't believe that they ever went to the recycling center that are still down in the storage room.
He said the monitor just went, though, right?
Well, those are out of the actual server room, out of their server room.
But you're saying we have more in the other room.
Yeah, in the storage room. I believe there's still all that stuff.
Anything down there that's junk needs to go.
Was going to, or has been working on, or had worked on.
But all the filing cabinets, I mean, that's all on the,
No, that's all still downstairs.
I know, but wasn't it gonna be on the auction?
Yes, it all went to the auction, but there's still just down, I mean, not everything's sold, so.
What do you wanna do with those? Just get rid of them?
Anything that didn't sell. You know, that's my opinion, right?
I just want rid of it because we got issues down there.
Well, I think we've had fire marshal discussions about that stuff before too. That stuff down there, whatever down there, whoever we can get to haul it, if Greg and Fox can take a load once in a while or whatever. And we have to pay some recycle fees, we just have to pay it, it's gonna go, we need to get it out.
Why can't you just put a big dumpster and pitch it in there?
Well, we tried that one time and then it turned out to be a traffic disaster because it blocked what few parking places we did have. If you put it up here relatively close, and then people were complaining about that, so. It's easier, I mean, there's enough people running back and forth from here to the fairgrounds or whatever, if we just throw a few pieces in, it won't take long to get rid of it.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It is.
That's why I thought, I just assumed nobody had bought any. I didn't think you had the auction because I seen so much down.
Here's where I'm at with it, is I don't understand why it keeps accumulating, because in my opinion, if we have something and it's no good, why do we go to the trouble to carry it down there? Why don't we just get rid of it as
Because
a?
policy is we're not allowed to
That's
take
right, some of
anything
them.
away.
Well, then we'll change that policy, Alex.
I think there's some statute to it as well.
Yeah.
Alex, when you look at the statute and tell us, what- I mean, if we have something that's broken, it's obviously broken, and we
You
can't.
know, that is.
Oh, there's stuff down there that you're like, why'd you waste your time carrying it downstairs?
Yeah, that's, I don't want to do that anymore, so can you check into that? You don't have to do it today. Have you got it?
Yeah. Briefcases that I've been down there for. Literal briefcases.
I mean, all you have to do is sign it out of the county's equipment and then get rid of it, correct? Or do you have to do that?
Who started this thing, and then, was there only one place I had to sign these
Yes.
titles?
Yes,
Just
just
one
that one
thing?
place, yeah.
Okay. Well, can you review that, make sure it's good?
Okay, so
Those are just what we just.
These all have to be signed,
don't have nothing to sign.
they were over here.
No.
I just signed on the bar.
I think she set that down. Yeah.
We're good then? You know, I never realized how much I used my left hand. I always thought my left hand was just kind of useless. And then once you don't have like full use of it anymore, you realize, well, it's not as useless as what you thought. You guys ever realize that? Appreciate it.
It was weird because there's two of them. There's one there and then there's one there. The little
Just
man-
right around in this pesky.
I was like, I don't know why he signed that one, but it's-
I think it's probably because she wanted to stay together.
Okay,
Is my guess.
I just want to make sure we didn't need to do anything with
So
it.
did you possibly have a fever at the time?
Make
Yeah, I just want to make sure it was right.
As long as we have a signature.
We need to sign this one through, just Matt on them.
Just Matt.
He's just passing stuff down. You're talking about his left hand, he just started passing.
Yeah, I think that's what he did. He just got pass happy.
So we got everything.
Looks like it.
Does anyone else have anything else?
Randy,
Yes.
you just look like you had something.
Hope everybody comes out, enjoys the fair next week. Supposed to be hot. Not at the fairgrounds, it's gonna be about 74, 75 all week. So come on out and enjoy. I'm anxious to see how you accomplish that, because the predictions I'm seeing in the 90s, but. No, we're working on that. You're working on it? Yeah. We'll see what we can work out. I know in years past, we had some of those big cooling fans, you know what I'm talking about, the great big. I don't remember what we got that for. I've never seen those since I've been on board.
The health department, maybe?
No, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think we borrowed them from Herb French. And I think now that Herb is about to get them, but it would be nice to have a few of those in the building. In case somebody gets over. Well, we do have one building, building 7, that's right beside New Bethel. And all that is, we reserve that building for picnic tables and to get out of the sun, get out of the heat.
That's a good deal.
Fans in there, so we'll try to use that as a cooling station, but still, some of those big fans could be good.
That's one thing we've always been short on out there, somewhere to sit down and eat.
Right, yeah. So
I'll
we've
just check
got
on
that.
it, see what I can find.
Anybody's
No,
welcome
it's
to
very
go in
fine.
there. Okay, all right. Nothing further, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
And thank you everybody for coming.